It says.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to move it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message out to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. Never slow till I finally prove it. Never listen to it, no, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to it. I want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah. Fatal like a gun. Shooters shooting, I'm gonna shoot until I fall. Always to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
Welcome into live. Welcome into Midnight, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We are pivoting in respect to Ward Radio and having some combos with them on the name and all that fun stuff. So we've got ourselves a fun little show today. Oh boy, we got
a Megasaurus?
Keith.
Do I see a Megasaurus?
Yeah, we got Megasaurus. I don't really understand what's going on here. Let's make Megasaurus big here for a second. Megasaurus, welcome in. What can you share with us of your ways?
I'm just having a really great day. You know, for all those that they don't know how to, be lighthearted. Rock.
Megasaurus.
Hey, Midigas here.
Midigas.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let me tell you, you gotta lighten up.
Keith.
Hey, I just
look at how you got Midiga. Look at Keith down here. What is he doing? Is he like 3 years old? Keith, fix your phone.
What's going on?
Yeah, you like
let's
sideways.
just do it sideways. Let's just do
Let's
it.
all do it sideways.
Is that better?
Yeah, I kind of.
Where's LDC?
I don't see how to do it. Steady.
LDC is MIA. So I'm curious. Can you guys hear me? Okay? Am I latent? Am I dragging at all? I'm on some Airbnb Wi-Fi.
You're good.
All right. Somebody's saying Mitigasaurus.
Daytime.
Yeah, it's daytime for you. What time is it there, Mitiga? You're in Germany right now, right?
Like 8 a.m. I haven't even been to sleep, man. I've been in meetings all night. I just had a great conversation with Elder Jeremiah Morgan of the Quorum of the 70.
Whoa.
Hey, he's the Attorney General of the state of Missouri. He's also the 70 over Illinois and Missouri. You know, he just encouraged me to keep on going, keep doing what you're doing, and stay positive, even if a lot of saints aren't choosing to be right now. Hey, it's really great. I'm positive because we got a lot of support that's occurring right now, and there's massive things coming down in Nauvoo. I'll tell you right now, massive.
Nah,
Did you say that he is the state AG of Missouri?
Oh yeah, he's the state attorney general of Missouri. He's also a member of the Quorum of the 70, and he's totally fine with what we're doing.
Wow.
He's one of the two elders working with. I'll just share that because we just had a nice conversation.
Yeah, I've been hearing bits and pieces as you've been having these, and it's really encouraging. Like, a lot of people thought you were going to get all this hate, you were going to get X'd, and if anything, they've reached out their arm and like wrapped it around you.
Yeah, it's really great. What's that,
Did
Brian?
you say that 70 elders are going to be paid for to fly to the Yucatan by the Church of Jesus Christ?
No, you misinterpret. No, there's one of the 70 had taken his personal credit card and bought 24 elders their tickets down to the Yucatan.
Okay.
From impoverished tribal communities. Just did it. Let me tell you. Hey, and I wore the cool mask because, you know, people need to relax and be lightened up. I'm one of the Zion boys too. Hey, we can lighten up a little bit and smile. It's fantastic.
That's right. That is right.
That's
and
right.
I think LDC would be put in timeout, Shane, for not being
He's coming
here.
He's coming. He
Take
said
the
he's
glasses
coming.
away.
7. This is like he's on the okay. He's got some excuse, but I mean, how hard is it to? I was like texting someone until like 11:58, and I made it. All right. Well, let's go around the horn and let's introduce everybody. We got a new face in the bottom. Pico, do you love me? And we obviously got Brian Nettles on here, but Pico, introduce yourself real quick. Say hi to the world. Don't embarrass your parents. They might see this.
Okay, I'll try not to. Yeah, I'm Keith Coates. Kiko's a nickname that I tend to go by. Work with Shane and Trevor on a business venture, but just a big fan of the show and happy to be here.
Love it. We've been having some good combos with Keith, and he's picked up. Oh, there's LDC with no camera. He's picked up the moniker Peter. We're calling him Peter. It's sticking. LDC, you're in trouble, bro. You're 8 minutes late.
Listen, last time it wasn't even started at 8 minutes, so I thought I had time.
Bro, it started on the button. Every time I'm in control of these buttons, it starts on time, dude. I like hit it at 0. And look, Mitiga's flexing with this Stegosaurus, Megasaurus mask. You missed that too. Like,
yeah. We might have another name change, and it might be Midnight Megasaurus. Right now, as you can see, it's
Shake trees.
Midnight Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain everybody here's we're all members.
Yeah, we are all members. I feel like that's a mouthful. I feel like it's so many words. Like, did you see the logo that we had to make? It took up 3/4 of the whole freaking thing.
You know, after we went on with Stephen Pineker's show, when the day you got baptized, I had Wayne May reach out to me saying, "Are you not a member of the church anymore? Did you get excommunicated? Did you leave the church?" Referring to me, because evidently I said something on the broadcast on Stephen Pineker's show that made it sound like when I was a member of the church, and it must have been
dude.
either or they misheard or something.
Isn't
like
Pineker such a stud? Like,
he really is.
Yeah,
great guy.
We love
guy.
Pineker. We were texting him today. Total stud. He's gonna be coming back on here shortly. So Shane, I'm in Cabo. My internet might be crap. What do we got on the docket today? I mean, I got some things we can cover. I definitely want to hear what the heck Mittig is talking about in Nauvoo. Like, you can't just say humongous things.
It's humongous.
And
It's
just
humongous.
tease us like that. Like,
Hey,
we need to know what that's all. We're booking our flights tonight.
At this point, I just feel like I want to just turn it over to Mittig for the first 10, 15 minutes here and just have him give us some downloads. Tell us what's going on. Mittig and I recorded a show today, had a great show today with some great teachings on there. But Mittig, just, man, give us a download. What's going on? What are you up to? What's moving? What's shaking?
Persistence, man. I'll tell you what, it's persisting against the great mountain of opposition. But persistence pays off. It's the only thing that'll get failure out of the way of your success. And what's success right now? It's getting the house in order for when the Savior comes back. I think everybody knows that. That starts in your own heart. You got a 4-chambered room right here in your chest. And it just means being a nice person. And I know people are going to attack you and make you mad. Heck, they do me every single day. And sometimes you're going to defend yourself, and then they're going to attack you because you defended yourself, which is like the story of my last year. But it pays off. It's a big institution. And the other institutions all leaned in. We've successfully united the entire restoration branches. They will be doing a joint conference in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in April. It won't be in Missouri. It's going to be in Pennsylvania because the elders are tired of traveling so much. So they're going to help them out. They're just going to cross over the river, the St. Lawrence, and it's going to be in Pittsburgh. And the joint conference of restoration branches, as well as the First People's Community of Christ and the Church of Jesus Christ, who has committed to, hey, listen, we got our own unique Nephi record that's going to be in the Mayan language with our own cool cover. Yeah, it's awesome. And we're going to have 10,000 a quarter coming starting in May. So this is unique and amazing things, but there's other great things happening. Like, we're getting encouragement from members of the Quorum of the 70. We're getting encouragement from them who are state attorney generals and are addressing a lot of our concerns that have occurred earlier, and letting us know that they're with us and they support us, and that we should choose kindness and the path of peace, even if others are choosing not to at the moment. Now, what's going on in Nauvoo? There's also another elder who's working with the church historical department about something that's going to happen in Nauvoo. And it's at one of the plots. It's actually the only plot that the church doesn't own in the city. And that's going to be something that is going to be occupied by a pretty cool native thing coming really soon. And so, yeah. So I'll say that there's some amazing things going down. That's going to be going down. And so I would just say to those that are out there that are trying to find a reason to believe that it's okay to be a Latter-day Saint. Hey, guess what? It's better to be a Christian. And so if you can be a Latter-day Saint Christian, hey, that's the very best right there it is. And what's that mean? You got to act with your heart, man. Be nice and kind, because it's paying off. Hey, it's paying off. So you want me to fill some more details? I don't know. Let me know.
That's pretty cool.
So I have a question.
I want to hit a couple of things that you had. I think I'm a little bit delayed, but let me just fire this off because I want to make sure people don't miss this. The thing that I was talking to someone about today, someone who's not a fan of yours, right? And I was just talking to him like, listen, this is why I'm a fan of his. And I don't know if you like the Book of Mormon, if you love the Book of Mormon. Mittig is getting 10,000 copies of the Book of Mormon translated into Mayan, into a language that's never been done before, ever. And there's 30 million of these people, 3 million of them in the Yucatan Peninsula. They're going to get access to this book, right? It's going to be, after it's translated, there'll be digital copies of it as well. It'll be able to be accessed on the entire internet. And I've seen video calls of Mittig on with the Church of Jesus Christ, and they've committed to do 30,000 of these books. I mean, so to me, that one fruit alone is worth more than anything I've ever done in my entire life. And the first thing I heard when I heard that, I'm like, dude, I'm in. Like, what can I do? I want to pledge all my resources to this. It's amazing.
Well, I'll tell you this, for all my faults, which are many, and for all my sins, which is a really big mountain, that the one thing I did get right is the Nephite record in Mayan and in Amazonian I got that right. And that's happening. And if the only thing I'm known for in the end is for being a loudmouth antagonist for the tribal peoples, I think that bringing the Nephite record, the Book of Mormon, in their language and being in a chief position to open that door, and it's going to be open. Zion is going to be there. You guys are going to be filming as it's on the altar. That with all the pipes of all the nations, that I think I'll be known for that in the end. And I'm pretty happy about that.
100%.
And I think I'll be known for what occurs in Nauvoo. And I'm pretty happy about that too.
Talk about the March 17th through the 23rd thing. Myself and Brian Nettles and David are flying down for that. And talk to us about what that is and like what the significance of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, for the first time in a couple hundred years, the Eagle, Colibri, Quetzal, and Condor councils all came together and united. And there's one big council now, and they decide, you know, April's like the new year, so this is how they do it. You know, that's why it was sent out last April like the lamb to the slaughter, right? And boy, was it a lamb to the slaughter. That now this year, right before April, which is when they really shift into another level of unity and spiritual unity under the peacemaker with the restoration branches, that they're having a big gathering about this, a ceremonial gathering. And it's going to be beginning the evening of March 17th is when my portion happens. I go into a fast. It's going to be a 7-day fast. And but there's going to be ceremonies, and I'll be the fire keeper of these 150 nations that are gathering. I was selected to be the fire keeper. This just happened 3 days ago. They let me know. I was going to be General Pop just watching with the coolest pipe on the block. But yeah, they're going to be there watching this happen. And they're going to be covering a bunch of ceremonies over a 7-day period that all equates to unity. And at the very end, the pipes are going to be united and moving forward with one message. And that's, we are the children of the peacemaker, period. And then we'll roll into the joint conferences in April and release the new book, the Ojibwe Record, which is just the first of 6. And you'll see as the largest growth in the distribution of Book of Mormons in your known memory is going to occur in a way that the fields are white. They're going to be welcomed in and requested in. You're not having to compete. We're not having to compete with anybody else or ask anybody for permission. It's happening. Am I still on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I froze up there for a second. Yeah. So and
so
it's not all.
Map. Maybe you can see this map that I've got. Sorry, I'm talking over you because I got a little bit of delay, but this is the map of where this event is. And Cancun is right over here on the right-hand side. It's about an hour and a half drive to Cancun, maybe 2 hours. But this spot right here, Sisseben, is where this event is taking place. Like, this is in the Mayan jungle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's where this is. This is, and this is significant because it's the first time that, and I want you to understand, this is the very first time that this has ever been live streamed. This has never been recorded, these gatherings, these private places. And you're going to see elders from northern Canada all the way down to, you know, from the Arctic all the way to the Antarctic that are all gathered together as one for one purpose. And that's remembering their unity under the peacemaker. The peacemaker walked with us. If the best thing you can do is to go up to an Indian and remember, you might not just be meeting a Lamanite. You might be meeting a descendant of Joseph from 2nd Nephi. Remember, they don't lose anything and they're going to endure to the end and be a part of the restoration. Well, certainly those people are a part of what's occurring too. And the best thing you can do is say, you know what, I love you and I know the peacemaker was with you. I want to worship with you. And oh, by the way, here's a record of your family's history. And just let the spirit do the proselytizing with them. You don't got to do anything other than love them. That's it. That's it.
So Mitiga, I think it's pretty freaking cool. However you arranged it to get this to be live streamed. First off, just the fact that it's live streamed. Never, ever, ever has this ever happened before that this is live streamed. And then the fact that you guys selected Zion Media, like we're honored by that. That's super, super cool. Talk about that a little bit. And how did you get them to agree to live stream it and to let us do it?
I don't know. I sing good songs to them. To me, I don't think I sing very well, but to them, I sing pretty dang good. I think that's what broke through. I cared a lot about the grandmothers, and I cared a lot about the mothers, and I try to speak what they asked me to do, and I do it to the very best of my ability. A lot of the things I get attacked for, I'm just doing what I'm told to do, because they know that I'll do it, and I'll be able to push against the brunt of a lot of public abuse. But there's also a lot of public love. It's just the abuse kind of gets a little bit louder. We picked Zion Media because when Zion Media is focused in on something, they are a tip of the spear, and that's who you want on it in that moment. That's who you want, and they also know how to balance the humor. Listen, God created humor for a reason. We all got to lighten up in a world that seems like it's going to blow up. And we can do that because we have the joy of knowing that we have a peacemaker and a creator that would never let any harm come to us. So in the very end, we don't fear. We have a lot of joy because we know that the great gathering is occurring. We know that Zion Media is going to watch the birth of Zion, the very beginning, and is going to relay that publicly to all those other podcasters out there that really should have took the approach of love and kindness. And but don't worry, they'll all be covering it the next time. But the next time will be the largest growth in the history of the restoration movement, and it will be occurring over the next 3 years. We will be moving through communities that collectively total 30 million people, from the Yucatan to Nicaragua, Honduras, to I can never remember that other country's name, Guatemala, and down through Brazil, and even down into Bolivia. And this is 30 million indigenous people in this area. And they live dirt roads. They still live in bamboo huts, and they have food that's just all over the dang place, and they want to know about their history. So I don't know how it happens.
We have somebody that wants to know about the Eskimo of the Arctic Circle.
Oh, yeah. Well, what about the Eskimo? It's cold up there.
Are we going to go get them too?
You made a statement that they were part of it.
Yeah, so the Dene, they are a part of it. So the Eskimos are a branch from the Denetah. They won't admit it, but they are. And there's a number of groups from across Canada that are going to be there. Yeah. From the Dene up at the Arctic.
Did Elle just pop in here?
Yes.
They're not Eskimos, okay? They're Inuit. Okay, we got to call them the right name.
So I actually have a question.
Eskimo makes me think of the little ice cream. Do you remember the Eskimo ice cream?
Yes. But I do have a question about something you just mentioned. So I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, since now you're actually getting help from members of the 70 and the LDS Church has leaned in their poll, is there going to be anyone talking to some of these podcasters that have been spreading not so nice things about the things you're trying to do? Or what's going on there?
Well, I think, yeah, so I think that people do think, well, first of all, yeah, that I would say if you're a podcaster that is doing nothing more than trying to prevent tribal peoples from gathering and getting the Book of Mormon, and that your sole purpose is to try to upset them into a way that they actually, I don't know if people know, but there was talk about censuring the ability for the church to even do missionary work in these communities. And it was Mitigah who was the one who was the champion fighting against that, because what I understand, podcasters, they're guys that, your guys are podcasters, you got regular lives, you got families, you got regular jobs, and you're doing this because of a passion. Well, there are those that this is how they feel important in life. And so what they do is they intentionally try to rile up. You see it on media, it's on TV, you learn about it. They just try to talk about negative, riling up, because that's how you get views. That's how you get attention. It should be a lightning rod of anger, and you pull those type of people in. The problem is when you start impacting the ability of even the organization that you're in to be successful in indigenous communities. And I think that's when it steps over the line. When you're being defensive and defending your family and then being attacked because you're defending yourself, I think that it's really important that some of these podcasters understand that at least there's one of them that I'll show up at his council and I'll bring so much evidence that it'll bury him. He's never going to get out of it. But it's a true story. Hey, they don't have to like you. They've learned to love it. It's the way it is.
I love it. Mitigah, this is why I like you so much. because like you say all the stuff that I want to say, but like I don't want to offend people because I'm trying to like, you know, spread information and be friends with everyone and all this stuff. But like honestly, like half the time when you're going off, I'm agreeing with most of it. I'm gonna be real.
Oh, I wish I could have a Red Bull right now. I tell you, I've been up all night. I appreciate that, LDC. You know, I think the key thing, I think Shane knows a little bit about this. We both have gone through a lot of struggle in our life, but we've had a lot of highs too. And maybe all of us have, but I think more intimately, he and I probably share that path. That there's a point where you have to care more about what the peacemaker, Jesus Christ, thinks and less about other people's. You know, Jesus is the only one that forgives my sins, not any person. So the only person I have to please and be in line with is Jesus Christ. I don't have to be in line with human beings. And when you get to that point, then you cease to care or be concerned. Now that doesn't take away righteous indignation. You're still going to defend your family. You're still going to defend your own character. And I think everybody should remember that this whole thing started off real positive, and the only negative spin came when, I think, and everybody knows, that hate came at me. And it came in a way that was just a little bit unacceptable. And so you defend yourself, and then you keep trying to be positive, and then it comes again, and you defend yourself. But there's going to be accountability. Listen. I think I'm the only person. I just got notified today that my membership to the Community of Christ has been accepted. So I am officially right now a member of every single Joint Restoration branch. And the reason that I am is because I am a grand chief of a tribal people that is found in every single one of these boxes, clinging to the Book of Mormon. And I will go into that space and be where they are and say, do not let go. Don't let go. You can't add a pawn unless you move the foundation. Yeah.
Okay, I got a serious question for you. That kind of makes me jealous that you're a member of all of these churches and you're not getting excommunicated. Do you think there's any way that you could get me a membership in every single church and the Catholic Church and all the evangelical churches and not get me excommunicated?
Well, here's the deal. You know, I'm traveling from the Yucatan the very next day straight up to British Columbia to meet and speak at the Reformation Revival Alliance. This is the largest Christian coalition in Canada and one of the largest in North America. And then from there, heading over to Missouri to speak and work with Team Jesus, which is a large non-denominational evangelical Christian organization that does a lot of charity work in Africa, and we need their help also down. Yeah, so I'm amazing everywhere. Now listen, I don't know if I can become a member of the Catholic Church. Okay, I think there is a line. But I think it's important that we start seeing the body of Christ as one body. And that there's maybe a hallway with a lot of rooms, and maybe to get somebody into that room, maybe we think like school, you know, in class, you go through grades, you got like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I don't think the seniors are disrespecting the freshmen just because they're at the beginning. They're all going to get there. You're all going to get there. And I think we just need to maybe have that approach.
I would think the bigger question when it comes to the Catholic Church.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say, I think the bigger question of how are we going to get the Catholic Church to receive the Book of Mormon and lay it on their altar rather than us.
Well,
the church.
Well, I think they're gonna see that massive groups and communities that they're surrounding are proliferating with the red book. It's a red colored book that says Nephite record on the front in Spanish, and the next one starting in the spring will be in Mayan. And I think that they're going to see so many of them spread through, and so many of the Latin America carrying these things around, that I think even the Pope himself is going to have one on his desk going, what's going on? And then he's going to realize, hey, maybe it was a good idea, because he did it, that he rescinded the doctrine of discovery. Remember, that thing said you can take things from people who are not Christians. Well, once he knew we're Christians, hey man, we were Christians when we got found.
Does that have any like effects on Manifest Destiny and any of the stuff that they did taking the lands, or are we past that now that we're in the U.S. Constitution? Like,
we do. You know, all of the You know, all of U.S. constitutional law related to Indian law in the 1800s was every single Supreme Court case was founded upon the doctrine of discovery. Every single one, even as recent as I think it was 2008 or 9, when the Oneida Nation was in a court dispute against New York when they purchased back their land, and then New York kept taxing them, and then the Supreme Court ruled against the Oneida Nation, citing the doctrine of discovery. Well, that just unraveled all of the case law against tribal nations, but the case law is still being used. It's really strange, but it's okay because, you know, we just found another way, which is you can beat us politically and economically. Well, for a little bit on economically, we got a lot of resources that have never been taken to the market, and they're going to go. But spiritually, you can't beat us, and spiritually, we win. We have an intimate relationship with the peacemaker, Jesus Christ. The peacemaker walked with our nations, and we have more of a history of him during his 819 days that he spent with us than is currently in the Bible. We have an intimate relation. Anybody who reads the Book of Mormon, the Nephite record, knows that to be true as well. But there's a lot more coming out, a lot more. And I think that we should champion that, encourage that. I think we should be happy about that because it's going to affirm our faith. It's going to grow our membership. What's our membership? That's just brothers and sisters entering our tent. That's being called to repentance, being called to baptism, being called to receive the Holy Ghost. You know, and I think that that anytime anybody's called to Christ, that we should be rejoiced, whether or not they're wearing a hat that says Jesus Christ or a hat that says Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I think the important thing is Jesus Christ. It's certainly the most important thing.
So how about the record of the Mayan and them about the peacemaker visiting the people of the Mayans? Are they going to Are they going to lay down the record of him visiting them and the things that he taught them?
Yeah.
At the same time.
No. So the Mayans, they have been divided. They put the borders to cut the Mayan in many chunks. That's that border between Guatemala and Mexico. So when we go in March, April, and May, in May, June, July, we're going to be going through half of the Mayan communities that are in the Yucatan and establishing a location that a building will be established. And they're going to build them in one day. We're going to have one in every single place. And we're going to be putting the Nephite record, and we're going to have teaching centers there in every single one. And we're going to put in communication technology so they can communicate with each other just like we're doing right here. And then they are going to then bring their records that are in those communities into those lodges, and then we will aggregate them. And then those will be a release that will shock people. Kate Call walked with them. They know him very intimately. And that history will come out. That's something even we are waiting for, but we know they have it. We know, and they took me to Palenque and they talked about the trading empire they had that extended across the Atlantic and the Pacific, where they have hieroglyphs that are on walls. And I don't know why everybody's alarmed by it. It's real. That they have hieroglyphs on walls that are in what looks like a language from Mali, Africa, what looks like a language from Southeast Asia. There's a chief down in Southeast Asia that's already confirmed it. And also Hebrew. They know the Hebrews were there. This is not a discussion that they'll be debated on. They know it. And they don't blink an eye. They're like, yeah, of course. Why is this an issue? It's an issue for everybody else, not for the indigenous. So we hope that comes faster. But we know that we're going to need to get in their communities.
That'll be awesome. Hey,
that's gonna be cool. What do you want to say, Shane?
I'm shocked. Listen, it's way past my bedtime, and we have almost 100 people on this live. We have somebody on here. I don't know if L's even going to say anything, but everybody's wondered who L is. Some people are like, L's Mitiga, L's Trevor, L's Latter-day Chad. Well, we have L on here, and he is none of the above. So
I think L's Kwaku
coming out with the next Unsealed episode.
Oh,
just got
can I
guessing?
L's Kwaku.
This is for Jonathan Hayes. That's for Jonathan Hayes.
Dude, Jonathan Hayes must be L. I'm calling it. Like his whole thing when he's like hating on receiving revelation and all this stuff. It's all a cover so that they don't know he's L.
Hey, I bought a trampoline just because Jonathan Hayes inspired me to buy a trampoline.
Yeah, Jonathan Hayes is hell. That's why he's like going so hard against like receiving revelation and all this stuff, is because he doesn't want everyone to know that he's this mysterious guy named L. And that's why he has to hide himself, is because he doesn't want people to know that he actually believes we can receive revelation. He doesn't want people to know that he believes John the Beloved has more keys than President Nelson. He doesn't want us to know this.
That's
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
Okay.
Hey, I bought a
I think the
trampoline
question-
just because of him.
Man, that trampoline part was one of my favorite parts ever. We were in the middle. We were like 30 minutes in, and Shane was kind of like growing bored with the podcast. I said, stay tuned, Shane. I'm going to get him to jump on that trampoline. Behind him in the podcast, you could see a trampoline. And Shane's like, whatever. I said, I swear, I'm going to get him on the trampoline. And we did a rapid fire session. We even had him do the egg crack. If anybody's ever seen, remember back when you were a kid and you like bounce on the egg and stuff, like it was some good content right there.
Good times.
So I want to kick it to Brian Nettles. Brian, what's going on in your world? We just did a podcast with you that will release this week. We talked about some really cool things that you have going on, but are there any nuggets you want to release? Anything you want to talk about? I know with us, you talked about these other relics.
Well, right now, kind of the focus is one of the focuses that I'm working on is getting some of my past research either released for the first time or re-released, because a lot of it I released. It's been like 7 years ago when I released a lot of this stuff, and most people haven't seen it. And so, like there's a lot of artifacts from the Michigan artifacts. There's a lot of Burroughs Stone stuff that I've never really put out, or I put it out maybe when my channel was really small. And so maybe only like a few hundred people saw it. And so my channel is much bigger now, and we've got your backing as well. And so I'm hoping to put out some of this stuff there. The interesting thing about it is, I'm a little conflicted in some ways, because a lot of times I think that I'd like to have a little more gospel oriented on the things that I'm putting out, but I'm putting stuff out on artifacts, which is only kind of like loosely related, because, some of these artifacts depict Jesus Christ, and they have translations that are related to it, that validate that, yeah, Jesus Christ walked among these people and visited them, and they wrote about him, and here are images of him. And some of them, like there's a particular stone from Burroughs Cave that actually, it seems like it's a warning to a certain people, saying like, you rejected baptism, and the peacemaker is not happy about you rejecting baptism. Jehovah's not happy about you rejecting baptism. So you need to get in line and drop your traditions and accept the Savior. And I mean, it just, to me, some of these things are fascinating. And so, like I said, and sometimes I'm a little conflicted, because I think I should be talking more about Jesus Christ, about gospel content, but these artifacts sometimes are gospel related, and sometimes they're just simply, by the way, the Book of Mormon talks about Hebrew being among the people, and here's an example of the Hebrew. And by the way, the Book of Mormon talks about Reformed Egyptian, and here's an example of Reformed Egyptian. And so that's just kind of the stuff that I'm working on putting out right now.
That's
Brian.
cool. Hey,
I have a question related to that.
Yeah.
So me and Trevor are actually working on putting together a documentary series on some of that stuff, including the Michigan relics. And it's going to be like a History Channel, like Ancient Aliens type documentary, where we're going to have a narrator and all this stuff. Are you interested in providing some commentary to that, especially with the Michigan relics?
Are you kidding? I want to be in it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be a participant.
I want
to be a creator of it.
Chad,
okay.
Chad, don't we've already talked to Brian about this?
I think you've talked to him. I haven't. I mean, I think you probably have.
Oh.
But we are going to see the Michigan relics in person and various other things. And we have a whole list of things. We have a list of people who can potentially help, whether being in it or adding comments or whatever they have time for. It's going to be really nice and edited together.
I was talking to Alex Koretz. I released a video this week, or actually it was last week, with Alex Koretz, and his family used to own the Michigan relics before they went into the possession of the church, before they ended up over in Michigan. And so he's also very interested in being part of it as well.
Okay. Yeah, this is getting interesting. And so want to hear something cool? Same episode we do Michigan relics, we're going to go to New York and see the Chief Joseph tablet.
Okay.
Because that, like, they don't even deny that one's fake. It's just cuneiform. Like, why'd this guy have it,
Okay.
Well, while
now
you're
I
talking
want
about New York, are you aware that there's a particular museum in Buffalo that has presumably 1 million artifacts of the land of Cumorah being New York?
I did
And
not know that.
these artifacts have never been analyzed, looked at, photographed, released. I talked to the head archaeologist of the museum, and he told me that because of the Repatriation Act, we have to do anything that they do about showing it to anybody has to be done in conjunction with the Seneca working with them. And Hook Jones is a member of that tribe, and he knows the leaders there.
Oh,
And
dude,
yeah,
we know Hook. We need to do an episode on that. Like that could be a whole separate episode than the Michigan relics.
Right now
I'm
there's
putting
not
that
a
out
whole lot
into
that we know,
universe.
but we've got to get in there. We've got to work with the tribe to get the permission to get in there. They're also having a move going on, and that's also a problem too.
I think God is going to provide a way at some point for that to happen. I'm the Holy Ghost is confirming that.
There we go. Okay, now I want to kick it over to Keith Coates. And I want to ask Keith a couple of questions here. Keith, you're new to Zion Media being on. You and I tried to film and it didn't work. We're going to film. But Keith, maybe just give everybody kind of your journey, how you found Zion Media. I know you recently started going back to the temple. You're now working in the temple. But give everybody kind of a background and what kind of drew you into Zion Media and how you kind of started this spiritual revamp that's happened for you.
I can definitely do that. But before I do, Midiga, it sounds like you don't have a problem with memberships. Could you get me into Augusta National?
Only if I'm going with you, man. Hey, let's do it.
Let's do it.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I mean, there's a lot of spirituality for me out there. I love golf, so.
Okay.
Well, that's cool. Okay, Keith, give us the rundown.
Do you want the long version, short version? How long you want me to go?
Give us what you got, Peter.
Let's see. So maybe 6 months ago, got introduced to Zion Media through my buddy Ryan Shirley. He's a big YouTuber in Utah. It's called Scenic Destinations. Check it out. It's a really cool channel. And me and Ryan, we're mission companions. We're best friends in high school. We've been really close, and so we keep tabs on one another, send each other interesting stuff. And so one day he's like, "Dude, there's a guy in my ward called the Mormon Wolf of Wall Street," and I was like, "Sorry, my kids are waking up right now. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back."
Well, that was quick.
Okay. I vote that we don't let him finish. I vote we don't let him finish. That's BS.
That's the story. There was a guy in my ward named the Mormon Wolf of Wall Street, and that's it.
That's it? He just... Guys, hold on a second. I'll be right back. No. He's not. I think he's
banned. Can I
banned.
get L to let everybody know when he's going to release the next Unsealed? Like, when are we going to get another Unsealed? Is he even on? There he is.
Yeah, he's on.
Week to 2 weeks from now.
He said a week to 2 weeks. Okay.
Well, so he's got his like voice. Everybody, for people that don't know, L has chosen to come on Zion Media in anonymity, and anybody who wants to, who has something to share, can do that. We encourage it. We just want to get the message out there, and he's chosen to be completely private. We change his voice. He sounds nothing like what he sounds like on the show, and so going live is difficult because we use AI to do that, and we haven't quite mastered it. So he's got some voice modulator thing, and Keith still isn't back. I think we should just like kick him out. I got a couple of things that while we're waiting on him is pretty cool. So this series that LDC and I are doing is being paid for and set up by Zion Streaming. And Zion Streaming is going to be a kind of a Netflix for Mormons and Christians, paid service, cheap, but it'll be available on iPhone, Android. It'll be on all the major TV platforms, Roku, Amazon, Samsung, all that kind of stuff. But we're filming a 10 episode series that's really fun, really cool. We found like you just heard Chad mention, some of these sites that are these like ancient proof that there were people here that were civilized, right? That, you know, that actually had like transoceanic commerce and communication. And so we're going to a bunch of these sites, and Mitiga is going to go to 2 or 3 of them with us and be on an episode. Brian Nettles has agreed to go on 2 or 3 of these. We have Terry Carter, who some of you guys might know. Terry Carter, he's agreed to come on one of them that we're doing on giants and Nephilim. And there's a whole bunch of other people. We're hoping potentially Steven Pinecker will come on one with us. Bunch of other people that it's just too early to talk about. But the goal is we're going to interview 20 influential people in, you know, like the LDS bubble, and maybe not even LDS, but people who have authority on these sites and stuff. And we're going to do like an hour-long interview with them and cut that up into like bits and pieces. And then we're going to go with 6 or 7 people to these sites and film with them and just go there and try to get behind the scenes. Like, we have plans to get into the Smithsonian. We're working with the Smithsonian right now to see what we can and cannot film inside and out. And we'll never be invited back to the Smithsonian because our episode's on the Smithsonian cover-up. But we're going to be respectful and not do anything indecorous while filming. We're going to go to the Met, the Metropolitan Museum in New York, and go in and film inside of there. And we're working with the Met. But we're going to a bunch of like museums. And currently our executive producer, MacGyver, who you've seen on Radical Restoration in a few episodes, he's working on getting us into the museum. And a lot of these things are like not on public display. So we have to like set up a special appointment and get in there, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. And we're going to produce it like high quality, high caliber. And Shane, one thing as I kick it back over to you, I'm going to pull up a little snippet of our very first Mexico edit. It's the first draft raw edit, but I thought we could show like a few minutes of that. You think that's okay?
Yeah, let's pull that up. And I should say, and I should let everybody know, we're going to Kirtland. Yeah, I know that doesn't sound as cool as Mexico or the Yucatan, but we decided that we're going to Kirtland this month, the 27th, 28th, 1st, and 2nd. We're going to be in Kirtland. We're going to be doing some filming out there. We're going to go check out the Kirtland Temple, but we're going because on the 28th, all the planets align. And so we're going to go to Kirtland and hopefully we can have an amazing experience that happens in Kirtland. And so if you want to come to Kirtland with us, right now it's me, Trevor, LDC, and David Douglas. We're going to Kirtland. So if you want to travel out there to Kirtland, check out the sites with us. We're going to be filming out there on those dates. You are more than welcome to come with us.
I gotta go on that.
You should come, Mitiga.
My grandmother's mother, my great grandmother, is the granddaughter of Artemis Millet, who was the temple builder who built Kirtland. I tell you what, it's always been a dream to go there. I marked me on the list. I want to go walk the halls see the building one of my grandfathers made. Let's do it.
Hey,
Stars really are
as long as we don't have to pay for you to fly from Germany, we'll pay for you. You can come shack up with us. Airbnb.
I work the fly right now.
So is
give
he
me a
the one that
okay.
is he the one that knew how to build a sawmill? Is that what you're referring to? Because I heard in the story, one of the stories was that they needed a sawmill because they were having a hard time procuring wood on the local economy.
Yeah, no, he was the architect. Artemis Millet was. Yeah, Artemis Millet's the architect. He actually consecrated so much that he gave everything that he had, and so that he couldn't support his own family. And so Joseph Smith and Emma Smith actually fed him and his family every single day.
Wow. Trevor, do you have that pulled up, or do you want me to kick it to Keith so he can finish his story? He's back on.
Kick it to Keith, but admonish him for walking away.
Hey, Keith, I'm not going to admonish you because I know you got 2 kids at home and no wife there, and you're playing both mom and dad right now. So that's what Trevor doesn't know.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, so sorry for the minor distraction. Where did I leave off?
You met Ryan Shirley's in my ward. And he says, hey, there's this crazy guy sitting in my ward. I sat next to him in Elder's Quorum, and he's called the Mormon Wolf of Wall Street. And maybe tell everybody kind of where you were on your spiritual journey before that.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I served a mission, got married, still in temple. Ever since I got married, I was an active member on paper, once every 3 months type deal. But the fervor I had kind of lost. So that's kind of, and it's ebbed and flowed. Sometimes it's worse, sometimes better. At the time, I would say it was probably, I don't know, maybe 20% attendance. So kind of low or really low actually. And when Ryan showed me your podcast, a lot of the things you guys were talking about resonated with me. I liked the humor. I liked the kind of conspiracy things that were grabby. And then as I listened more, it just made sense, some of the points and the mission of the channel. So I actually connected with, I forgot who it was first. I might have been David, because I was going through some struggles of my marriage, and I wanted to get some advice, and somehow, some way, got in touch with him. He gave me some advice, and through trying and experimenting upon the things that you guys are telling about and suggesting others to do, I have found peace and happiness. Some answers and some experiences too that were incredible. And so all of it I can trace it back to Ryan, show me who you are. And yeah, so that's kind of my journey of
And now
how
you're serving in the temple on Fridays, right?
now I'm serving on Temple on Fridays.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I feel grateful just to have this channel to be able to meet somebody like Keith. Keith comes and hangs out over at my house now. So we have a good time together, just hanging out, chilling. So it's pretty cool. Okay, Trevor, do you have that video?
I got it, amigo. I got it. Okay, so what you're gonna see is the first draft. So don't judge us here. But this is pretty cool because we have probably enough for what, Shane? 5 episodes or more.
Totally. Yeah.
And if you're seeing this, we definitely could use help with some editing. If you have friends or family that are editors, we've got so much amazing content. But we're just going to show probably like 6 minutes or so of this.
Where is this?
Here we go. This is Monte Alban.
So we're here at Monte Alban, and I'm going to have to say that it is a lot bigger in person. I mean, I've seen so many pictures of this place, so many videos of this place, but when you come and actually have to walk it, and your legs are tired after walking through a quarter of it, you get a lot more appreciation for how absolutely huge this place is. I'm also really glad that we came here this time of year, because even though it's not as green as maybe it is sometimes, it's still really green. So I'm super impressed with how green it is. We just barely learned about this site up above us, how there are tunnels all over through, which I've heard that there were tombs all over through. I had not heard that there's tunnels for living residences. So I guess that there are tons of tunnels that go all the way across the entire site, which is super amazing. And anyway, we got to head down to the observatory because I'm really excited to go see Building J. And also we got to scout out this little solar tube and see if we can actually see the tube that heads down into the room where you can see the light go in there just on the spring and fall equinoxes every year. And I really want to get back on the observatory and see the exact line that it faces, see if we can find out and pick out which peak it points toward, because then we can go get on Stellarium, the web program Stellarium, and we can backtrack and see exactly what stars were rising and falling at 500 and 400 BC, right over the peaks. And it's really hard on that program without knowing exactly what your declination is, like how high the mountains are. So then we got to get up there and get an exact idea of like how much higher above the horizon the mountains are, so we know exactly where the sun would rise and the stars would rise at the different key dates. And then we can go back in time and see if it actually matches up with like Day of Atonement or the spring and fall feasts. I've played with a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that seems like those fall right in line with the feasts.
Confirming it at this point.
Yeah.
Do you think these were cisterns then?
These circular things?
Yeah, or were they pillars?
They're pillars.
Wow.
Yeah, this was a covered walkway.
Yeah.
So these are massive pillars. And they're really similar to a place called La Quemada, which is way north. Like the issue is.
Anybody do a representation of what it could have been here?
Yeah, online. When we get back to the apartment, we'll find it. Because there are, in fact, even in the visitor center, I think so there was a couple drawings that showed these like with the roofs over them. There's one Mayan site, Chichen Itza, right, which is from 1000 AD. And then there's 2 Mexican highland sites. And this is the only early one. So to have them having writing at 500 BC, to have them have astronomical alignments at 500 BC, I think this was the predecessor. Like this is, they're bringing in all the technology, and it must be maybe that Nephi had on the brass plates, that to Mesoamerica. All right, we're gonna try not to lose anyone on these stairs. You see that?
El abejorro. Esta es una bendición.
You can get Shane.
Es una energía del universo, el que esté el presente aquí.
You hear that? She's saying that it's magic, like energy from the universe is embedded in these bugs, and if they come to you, it means there's something to it.
Wow.
Tenemos
They're observing us. That's what
doing here. She's saying that whoever's supposed to be here at this moment is here.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh wow, and now it's gone.
Oh my
That was cool.
High five.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Margarita, soy de Guaymas, Sonora.
De Sonora.
Mi nombre es Margarita Ojeda Chávez. En estos momentos estamos aquí de visita en familia. Venimos mi hija, una hermana y mi sobrino y yo. Hemos estado siguiendo como sanadores para ayudar.
¿Ese lugar en Sonora es cerquita de Mazatlán o qué parte?
¿Cómo se llama otra vez, señora?
¿Quién?
Margarita.
Es un abejorro, y él es enviado por el universo. Es un ser vivo mágico.
He's a magic servant.
El abejorro indica que estamos ahorita potencialmente recibiendo cargas de energías del universo y que podemos pedir lo que todos nuestros anhelos de nuestro corazón desde la emoción. Y el universo nos está escuchando y nosotros hacer nuestras peticiones. Además que hoy es una luna llena y es un gran mensaje. Siento la energía potencialmente inmensa.
Como
This is an observer.
para ayudar a mucha gente. Soy
I don't believe it's a
terapeuta
manifestor. I believe it's an
holística.
observer.
Eh,
An observer.
El abejorro indica que
I would
estamos,
think
ahorita
that they'd be interested in our group because we
potencialmente
just came from
recibiendo
Missouri. We're
cargas
talking about the
del
Book of Mormon.
universo,
We're talking
y
about this
podemos
potentially being
pedir
Nephi's second
lo
temple, and
que
so there'd be
todos
curiosity in the
nuestros
universe.
anhelos de nuestro corazón.
Right?
100%.
That just happened, guys. That just happened.
Dude, this is a full-on entrance, probably to residences. Can you see that? It's hard to see inside of it, but I'll bet this goes all the way through the pyramid structure. So, I mean, this is a good example because the guy said that they were all over up there, like hundreds of them. And so then this is probably just an example of what you'd see if you could go in those ones. Yeah, this is awesome.
This is better than any of the pictures.
Yeah, this is epic.
This is like, to me, this feels so, I don't know, way more powerful than Teotihuacan yesterday, even though that was cool.
No, but I agree because it's like that's like a Gentile area, and you can tell it. All the artwork, all the stuff just feels like very.
I feel like
it's like New York versus Temple Square.
I feel like I'm in a temple, and I feel like as I look at this, I can see people sitting on the steps and Nephi teaching them there. I could see Jacob, his brother over on these other teaching things here. I could see people sitting under here. They're getting teachings. This was not just their temple. This was their classroom.
Yeah.
This is where they came to learn.
Yeah.
And then you know what? They went out and ran around on the field.
Yeah, the kids.
Yeah. I mean, when Nephi was here, there would have been just a couple of early buildings built, right? But then through the years, all of these major buildings would have gotten built.
He says, hey, we got to build this.
This is a nice sized city.
They lived up here?
Yeah. Like, so this is as big. On this hill, there was as many people as lived in the very biggest city in all North America, Cahokia. Right? And Cahokia dated to 1000 AD.
And these are the pretty influential people that would live up here?
Absolutely, yeah. This is just the aristocracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is like the religious center of the Zapotecs.
Way out west where the canyon winds blow, through the mesas and the valleys, there's a man with a story, a fire in his soul, chasing lost legends and rivers of gold. They say the giants once walked in these lands, left their secrets in the rock and the sand, buried their wisdom where the red cliffs rise, hidden in ruins beneath endless skies. Terracotta riding through spurs, reading the signs, digging for truth where the lost echoes call. Treasure and legends, he's finding them all. Shadows move where the campfire glows. Ancient maps in his hands, dust in his veins, following trails where the secrets remain. Stories of warriors, cities in stone, buried in time, but never unknown. Gold in the river, it whispers and stays. Terracotta riding through time, following whispers, reading the signs, digging for truth where the lost echoes call. Treasure and legend, he's finding them. Through the deserts, through the mines, following secrets left behind. Every answer, every clue, bringing the past back into view. Terracotta
That was great, guys.
If Terry Carter's involved in this, I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
This was really tough.
Terry, can you guys hear me okay? My internet is really bad.
I can hear you.
I sound
Okay.
You're pretty good.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, we've linked up with Terry. We're on the verge of like putting together an agreement with him to have him be a contributor at Zion Media. We're going to be helping him out on a bunch of stuff, and he's going to be connecting us to some pretty influential people. We're really, really excited about it. He's a total stud. We're going to have him on the show quite a bit. That guy has interviewed everyone. I mean, I'm talking everyone. Like his channel, and it's low production quality, but go look at the views on this thing. He's 7 times larger than us in subscribers. He's got a very, very loyal fan base, and that guy knows where everything's buried. I'm talking all the skeletons, all the gold, all the treasures, all the giants. What's that, Miniga?
Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, probably Jimmy Hoffa. And he's going to go to Catalina with us. And Mitiga, didn't you say you wanted to go to Catalina on one of those?
Hey, listen, I want to go to the Catalina wine mixer.
Listen, we can line that up. I just need a hall
I'm just
pass.
joking. Hey, sometimes I just need to say things to give people a reason to attack me.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Well, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean you can't go and sniff it. You know, I mean, the sommeliers say that the smell is like more than half of the value in wine.
Now it was a Step Brothers reference. Since it's a movie,
Okay.
thinking about
Well,
the drink.
so a lot of people don't know this, but Catalina, go into YouTube and type in Catalina Giants. Okay. So there was a guy who discovered, I feel like it was more than 50 skeletons. And these things were like 7, 8, 9 feet tall. In fact, the Ogden Standard Examiner, the paper that I grew up as a kid, back in the 1800s, published the first article on this. And you can go Google Ogden Standard Examiner Catalina Giants. There's a whole entire article on it. But this was like a big deal. So Terry's going to go out with us. Mitiga, you still want to go out to Catalina? We can go lobster. Lobster. Are you certified, Mitiga? Like certified to scuba dive?
I can swim.
Okay, we need to get you certified before then. It's very, very easy. But listen, there is a cliff in Catalina, okay? And you go out there in a boat, and it's literally a shelf, okay? And it drops down thousands and thousands of feet. But you can scuba dive down the wall, okay? And as you descend down the wall in the day or the night, there's tons of lobsters, just spiny lobsters sitting on the wall. And you go down with a bag, and you just go, brunk, 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 and literally... We've come back sometimes with 30, 40 lobsters between 2 people.
I have never heard of California having lobsters.
Oh, Catalina, go on YouTube and look at Catalina lobster hunting. It's incredible. And there's
real quick on the Giants thing there.
I used to walk up a hill from where I lived and see Catalina in the distance.
Wow. Beautiful.
I have never heard of lobsters.
So, I got to go to bed, guys.
All right, man.
And been up all night, but I did want to tell you, every Anishinaabe community knows about Ninwabe. They were the Giants, and man, they almost destroyed everything. So I'm excited to go anywhere that the Ninwabe were living.
Yeah, you guys battled the natives battled Indians. Like there's tons of stories of it. In fact, where's the place in Nevada where they trapped Lovelock Cave? Brian, have you heard of Lovelock Cave?
I've been through Lovelock.
The red-haired giants, the Ninwabe.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Lovelock. If you want to see a cool story about giants, go look at the Lovelock Cave giant history. And they trapped these guys in the cave, and they tried to make a peace deal with them, and they wouldn't do it, and they burned them all to death. And there's tons of records of this stuff.
Tough day. Hey, Brian, it's good to see you, man.
You too.
I'm excited to hang out with you down in the Yucatan. Hey, I'm gonna head out, guys.
Okay, hey, really quick. We got an Airbnb. Me, Brian, and Dave got an Airbnb that's like 25 miles away from the tents because I was kind of like worried about the tents. Is that going to seem too like snobby of us?
No, there's no, not at all. There's 16 elders that because of one's flying straight from a hospital, some others have mobility issues. They'll be staying also in a lodging that's about that distance off. Yeah, altogether. So don't worry about it. That's okay. Hey, it's the more important thing is free will. free will is the greatest gift that we've been given. And so natives and especially traditional elders, when you just show up and exercise your free will to show up, this is the biggest sign of respect that you can have. They're not going to care if you go somewhere else to sleep. It's going to be fine. I did have one update that just happened. It just happened while we were talking. I don't know if have you heard of Matthew Gill?
No.
Over in England. So I guess there's like a restored Church of Jesus Christ in England with 11,000 members.
What?
So, yeah, and they have a leader named Matthew Gill, and they got a book about, I don't know, Aramark or Airedale, or I don't know what it said. It's a book about their people, and I feel really bad I can't say it correctly at this moment, but they've leaned in, man, and so look for. Yeah.
Can we fly out there to see them in the next few months, 3 months, 4 months?
Like we can't. We're writing on WhatsApp now, and I'm writing with their president, and they're leaned in, and they're going to be on the next Cardinal Hour. Going to have them on as we're sewing the family back together. We're going to have a Thanksgiving. I'll tell you what.
Hey, am I ever going to get re-invited on the Cardinal Hour?
You should. Hey, listen. Here's the deal. This next Sunday, just because Sherry's she's a little touchy about Zion boys. Hey,
yeah.
But
love you,
you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the link and just have you come on.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, I'm serious about going to England. I mean, we'll pay for everything. Like in a minute, we'll go. You tell us when we can, we'll go.
Yeah, and they have a fascinating record that they brought out where it's prior to the English coming. Everybody who's down in the southern portion, they're not indigenous to that island. They're actually Germans and Vikings. So, but the original peoples that are there, they have a book that they've just released, and it's been picked up by this church called the Restored Church of Jesus Christ that also carries the Nephite Record Book of Mormon. And so I think it's going to be fascinating to have him come on and talk about this book I wish I could say it properly, but it's fascinating. And hey, Brian,
will you WhatsApp me the name of this church and the book and stuff, like offline?
Yeah, absolutely. And Brian, we were on his show, and he held up who's the guy we were just on at the MWR? Really nice guy.
Pinecker.
He actually held the Green Book up when we were on his show. That's from these people in the original inhabitants. I guess it's a book they recovered from tablets from the original inhabitants of the islands. It's a fascinating story.
But, we should take Pinecker with us. We should take Pinecker with us.
I don't know why not. That guy is awesome. We should take him. You know what we should take? We should take Dan. We should take Dan from LatterDay Watch. That's a cool guy. He's a really nice guy. Yeah, LatterDay Watch. I want to give them a shout out. Just as a sign of, hey, all this nonsense has to stop of division and backbiting and finding a reason to attack. He's actually disabled comments from his channel.
Is he? So he's a YouTuber?
He's a YouTuber. He runs a channel called LatterDay Watch.
Get him, bring him on personally, and we'll get all of our Zion Media fans to subscribe to his channel.
Well, that's the guy from Toronto, Canada, right? I mean, not Toronto, but like
Calgary.
Something like that. He was
He's Canadian.
He was like
he's Canadian. The future American once they annex Canada. Let's just start controversy.
I love it. I love it. Mega, we're gonna line up the Trump machine somehow, some way. Mark my words. There will be a meeting.
Treaty of Fort Harmar, baby. First treaty the U.S. ever made.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds good. Sounds
First
good.
treaty, you want a justification. Free the Anishinaabe. Let's make it happen, Trump. It's just controversy. Let's just do it. All right.
So just before you go, will you do like a song or a poem real quick before you go?
Yeah, actually, I can do a poem. I was thinking about it today because I try to find peace and moments of peace because I'm always surrounded by a lot of chaos. Maybe all of us are. Maybe that's a part of the story. But you have to find something that centers you. And for me, it's a poem. It's my favorite poem because it helps me see clearly. And I hope it helps you too. I often sit and feel the sun, embrace the wind, contemplate the unknowns of the purpose within. Looking out, this is what I see. Behold, the sun is gold and the grasshopper leaps, but none are as bold as that caterpillar who creeps. and what to behold between the rayed shimmering gold butterfly wings. Each breath is a pause to consider oneself. We aren't that different, you and I. Some walk the land, some soar the skies, some swim the seas, all these moments passing by. I look within myself and I see a pure truth. I know from whence we came, we shall return. We exist here like a gentle rain caressing the earth. We exist with a purpose to learn. But what of our Creator who knows us in so many ways beneath the earth, seas, skies, the sun's rays? He knows us. The sea worries for the precious drops carried afar, but there's a purpose to knowing who you are. All return to the ocean from whence they fell, and all carry a story and a journey to tell. So who are you amidst the world's noise? Are you at another seas? Are you at another fills? Are you the dream within your heart whose light reveals warmth, love, and compassion? Your journey with the Creator is personal to you, and your experience with the Spirit is unique to you. Don't let anyone take it from you. Keep it sacred. God bless you guys. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Love you, brother. Good night. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. And WhatsApp me the name of that church and the link to that book.
Will do.
All right, man. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Brian, bro,
Yeah.
it's down to me, you, and L. It's the last of the Mohicans.
L said night to everyone. May God bless you all. So I would assume that's not Jonathan Hayes.
This is our show, but this is me and you, Brad. We just got it from here. So here's what I want to do for the next 14 minutes, and we'll wrap it at 1:30. But I'm gonna go a little longer. I have a little bit of content that I want to show, but we'll officially end it at 1:30, non-officially. And for the next 14 minutes, I want you to tease a little bit about the episodes that we're doing with you, because there's quite a few of them, and there's some stuff that I didn't know about what's the name of the manuscript, or not the manuscript, the characters.
The characters. You got the characters document, and I have to be careful about what I can say about that one, just because I don't want to have a Martin Harris type of a deal taking place. The lost pages. But I'll do my best to share at least some about the characters document, and give you a flavor as to what it's really about. And when you really find out what it's really about, you will find out it's already been translated. You don't need to get some guy out there that's got some crazy translation of something you've never heard before. You will find out that it is stuff that's in the Book of Mormon.
So here's the part that I didn't know, and I was pretty surprised I didn't know, because I consider myself well read, and I've turned over so many stones, and I didn't understand there was a second document that's different than the Charles Anthon document, which we don't even have, and that's different. Correct me if I'm wrong. Different than what we have in some of the scriptures, where it shows maybe that's the Anthon document. There's something that I've seen, and it's a different. And tell us where the chain of custody comes from on this, because guys, I didn't know this thing existed, and it's two different documents.
There's been certain publications of the Book of Mormon where they took the characters document and turned that into the front cover of the book.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So tell us what the difference is between the characters document and the Anthon document.
So
who wrote each one?
When this was when Joseph Smith was first starting the translation of the Book of Mormon, working with Martin Harris, he wrote down some characters and handed it to and put the translation of what he had written down. So he transcribed a portion of Mormon's record, the Book of Lehi, I presume, and then he put a translation of it and handed it to Martin Harris, and Martin Harris took it to Professor Anthon. And that particular story is well rehearsed in our church history, that about the giving him a certificate of that the translation was the best he's ever seen, and then him ripping up the certificate. And so nobody knows where that document is, and you have to remember it had a translation on it. And so some later on shows up this document that ends up in the possession of the RLDS Church, and and is held in their museum for years and years, and then into the possession of the Community Church of Christ as they changed. And then later, when the Kirtland Temple was acquired, there were documents that were also brought into the possession of the church. So now the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints owns that document. So they had about 15 scholars look at the characters document and determine that it came from John Whitmer. It's John Whitmer's writing. Okay. And the question was, one of the real questions is, how did John Whitmer obtain a page which he wrote that had the characters on it? And the only answer that makes sense is that it was from the small plates of Nephi.
Why?
So
Why does that make sense?
Unscripted. I'm being a little unscripted right here, because if you go through the sequence of events, Oliver Cowdery and Joseph Smith were at Emma Hale's parents' home translating the gold record. And then there comes a point where Joseph Smith is looking into the Urim and Thummim, and instead of translating the record, he constructs a letter that's to be sent to David Whitmer, who was friends of Oliver Cowdery. And they send the letter to David Whitmer saying, please come get us and take us to your father's home. And David Whitmer gets the letter, and it's a very well-known story where miracles happened because he had to plant the crops. And so he comes and picks up Joseph, all these miracles happen, and then he ends up picking up Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery. And on the way to the Whitmer farm, they encounter a traveler, and this traveler has a burlap sack on his back, and it looks like there's like gold plates, or there's plates or something heavy in the bag. And Joseph says to David Whitmer, go talk to him. And so David talks to him and says, well, you want to ride? Oh, no, I don't need a ride. Well, where are you going? I'm going to Cumorah. And David Whitmer had never heard of Cumorah at this time, didn't know anything about Cumorah. And so he was taking the gold record to Cumorah, and then they end up at the Whitmer farm, and David Whitmer looks inside the barn and says, there's something in there. Does that have anything to do with the translation effort? And Joseph said, yeah, it does. And so the theory is that when they got to the Whitmer farm, they began the translation of the small plates of Nephi. And the small plates of Nephi did not have the restriction of viewing that the gold record had. And so he was able to show David Whitmer and John Whitmer. And then John Whitmer was the scribe on 1 Nephi chapter 2. And David Hawking demonstrates it in the writings. We don't know. Okay. And David Hawking demonstrates in the writings of the original manuscript that it was a different letter D that was common for where John Whitmer's family originated from in Europe. And so it's believed that John Whitmer was actually the scribe on 1 Nephi chapter 2.
So the record that we lost, the record that went to the Harris family, John Whitmer was the scribe for whatever,
for certain portions of it. And 1 Nephi chapter 2 is definitely a chapter that he was a scribe on. Because
and then do we know all of this because of the Joseph Smith papers, or is this that plus more, or help us understand?
That's a question for David Hawking. I don't know where he came up with, where he acquired this, the original document, and here's the photograph of the original document, and where he's able to compare the handwriting.
Who is David Hawking?
David Hawking, he lives in North Carolina, and he's the person who wrote the annotated version of the Book of Mormon. He's written about 7 different books, where he likes to take various scripture and books like the Book of Mormon. He's taken the New Testament, Joseph Smith translation, and put it into a compiled book with commentary. Okay. And
is it the one that is he the guy that has like the commentary is different colors, and he shows up at like Wayne May seminars and stuff like that?
Yes.
Oh, that guy's
very
a stud.
active in Rod Meldrum's, and
he's
Wayne
a stud. I'd like to get him. Could you get him to come on Zion Media sometime?
I can ask him.
I think he would. I've talked to him like 2 or 3 times. He's a really cool guy. He explained to me how he gets around the copyright And I was just like, wow, that's cool. He's
Yeah.
got some great books. In fact, his book on Enoch is one of the most thorough treatises I've ever seen on Enoch. I mean, it's incredible. Have you seen that?
I have a copy of it, and unfortunately, I lent it to a friend before I read it.
You're
And
never getting it back. It's
I've
amazing.
got to get it back from him. I'll get it back. He's in my ward. He's a friend of mine. So
Okay, it's so good. It's so good. Latter-day Chat's tearing through it right now. Okay, so basically they've got this other verifiable characters document. We don't know where the anthem document is, but we do have this one. Is that correct?
Yeah. And I've
Okay.
got a good photograph. I've actually got 2 photographs of it. One is an older one, and the other one is a newer one. It's actually important to be able to compare both of them, because
So is
sometimes
it I don't want to throw shade at all on Jerry Grober, but I've heard that people said that his book on it is kind of off. Like most people aren't agreeing with his take. Like it was an audacious take. He did a lot of good work. He put a lot of time into it, a lot of well thought. But I just had most people that told me that I respect are like, I feel like it's off the mark.
yeah, I do too. I don't want to criticize him heavily. I think that he's trying to do the right thing. I don't think
And
that he's
it's an
dishonest.
incredible, like I've got the PDF and I've read through it twice. It's really good.
Yeah. And we took different approaches. And my approach was, when I had learned that it was second Nephi, or that was first Nephi, or that was the small plates of Nephi, just put it into context. Nephi wrote it, not Mormon. And that's significant because, when Joseph Smith was with Oliver Cowdery and they're translating Mormon's record, and that's in Reformed Egyptian. That's 400 AD or 350 AD, around that time period, the writing system of that time period. This is Nephi writing.
So do we think that's different?
Oh, absolutely. They
Okay.
didn't speak the same language for 1,000 years. Nephi is writing based off of the language of the learning of the Jews and the language of the Egyptians.
Which is Reformed Egyptian or what? What is
Well,
it?
it's Egyptian.
Like
with
Proto-Egyptian,
Hebrew.
Proto-Hebrew.
So what I derived out of it is that they are demotic letters mostly.
Yeah.
There is also some hieroglyphic in it. And some of the Egyptologists would take issue with that, because if you're writing in demotic, you're not going to have hieroglyphic in it. Well, there's a little bit of both in there. And some of the words are Egyptian. Some of the words are hieroglyphic Egyptian. And some of the words are Hebrew written with the demotic alphabet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So without spoiling the episode, because we filmed like an hour and a half on this, and there's a bunch more. I've seen people in the comments being like, Brian needs to be a regular. Brian is going to be a regular. Like we're already planning. We're going on trips with Brian. He's filming the documentary with us. Like we're locking arms with Brian. We totally respect him, thinks he's a stud, and we're grateful that he's cool enough to hang out with us. Like we're cool enough to hang out with him, whatever you want to call it. So
Sure.
don't worry about that.
So it's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're such a stud. Every single time you come on, people are like, you guys need to have Brian on more. So you're a good balancing voice here. Okay, so moral of the story is when you went through it with your approach, you discovered something. Tease on that a little bit, and then people can watch on the full episode, because it's pretty cool.
I go through some. When I first started doing the Michigan artifacts, there was the 10 Commandments artifact. And in the 10 Commandments artifact, it has the word remember. It has the fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath. And I could see in that Michigan artifact, their version of SH, Phoenician version of B, Phoenician version of T, giving me Shabbat. There's the Sabbath. Well, what word follows Shabbat would be remember the Sabbath, because that's the commandment. And the word remember, oh, by the way, if you look up First Nephi chapter 2, it's the last word of the chapter.
Remember.
And that word, that symbol, is on the characters document on line 5. So now you have a starting point of where you're going to get First Nephi chapter 3, verse 1.
So it's pretty much like, if I'm thinking of it from like a book and chapter standpoint, it's a little bit of chapter 1 and then some of chapter 2, maybe. Is that what we're saying?
The document itself begins with the last verse of chapter 1.
Okay.
Line 5 is the break between chapter 2 and chapter 3.
And how many like verses do we think we get? What we consider verses?
Well, you're just getting little snippets,
Okay.
a couple sentences,
Okay.
a sentence or more, and they first start with the big letters. And so you're going to get less because it's the big letters. You get down to line 5, it's kind of small. And I only worked the first 5 lines. I didn't go through line 6 and line 7 because I was just kind of like, I put enough time into this, and I don't know if anyone's going to buy it anyways. And
Right.
then when I started to publish it, I was really confounded that, basically I had 5 months of being filled with the Spirit as I'm going through this thing. And then I start to publish it and the Spirit completely leaves me. And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? So I did it 3 straight days. Okay, let's write about line 5. Let's write about line 4. Let's write about line 3. And every time I wrote, the Spirit left me. And so I simply pondered and prayed on that. And then the answer was very clear to me. It's not for public consumption.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're never going to publish it?
I don't plan on publishing it.
I want you to go to the Lord and ask him if there's a time when you could, because I bet you there is. And
there may be, yeah.
I mean, here's the deal. It's like, it's just one person's opinion and take and your analysis. I mean, similar to what Jerry did, and I think it stirs good conversation and piques faith and curiosity. I mean, the reason why these things are so intriguing to us that like studying these artifacts is because it is a more sure word of prophecy. I mean, these are physical, tangible things that connects our faith to something. And there's still a leap of faith in all of these things, but to me, they're like food for my soul. Like I have weak faith. I need these type of things. Like I actually truly need things like this. Silly as it sounds.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, for me, it all started with, I had the spiritual testimony, I mean, read the Book of Mormon and being filled with the Spirit and, experiencing the big difference that you go through individually. If you have a period of time when you're not reading the scriptures, the light diminishes, and you don't even sense that the light is diminished until you start reading the scriptures again. And then it's like, wow, it's such a big difference. The light is turned on again. And so, I'm never going to be a person that's going to shun the idea of daily scripture study. To me, it's absolutely vital in your life that you study the scriptures daily because you need that light. And so I had the light from, the spiritual testimony of the truthfulness of the Book of Mormon and the Bible and, the scriptures in general. And, that Joseph Smith was a prophet and such. And then I had that experience where it started with the Michigan artifacts and I'm finding the Reformed Egyptian. And I'm like, wow, this is fabulous. This is absolutely Reformed Egyptian. There's no doubt about it to me. And no one's finding it anywhere else. And then I had the experience with the characters document, which to me was like, now I have absolute physical knowledge that the Book of Mormon is true and that Joseph Smith was a prophet. And then I get to the Burrow Stones and it's like, oh, here's the Hebrew that's been changed. That's talked about in Mormon with chapter 8 or, the end of Mormon's record when he talks about this is where he says this is written in the Reformed Egyptian and we would have written in Hebrew, but we've changed that too. And it takes more space. So, from my perspective, I've seen all 3 now. Now and because of the characters document, now I understand how Nephi was writing his record, what the original documents kind of looked like.
Have you ever seen the Mayan like cube? It looks like hieroglyphic writing that they had.
I mean, I've seen Mayan hieroglyphs, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have this entire system. There's this documentary on like PBS or something, and it's the kid who cracked the Mayan code, right? Like they've been trying to crack it forever. This just barely happened like, I don't know, 10 years ago. But they have all of these different like shapes and characters, very similar to Egyptian, but I'm trying to get my laptop to pull it up.
If I just walked away from my table, I could probably go grab the book that I've got that
Yeah,
my
we'll get
mom
it.
bought for me several years ago.
Go
Go
get
get
it.
it?
Go see if you can find it. All right. This is, I'm having big time internet struggles, or I'd be showing you guys a little video on this. But this Mayan language is intense. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, we somehow we migrated from, oh, here you go. I wanted you to hear this, Bryce. So the question I have on this stuff is somehow we migrated from, yes, put it close. Like I'm gonna get on one of those red or green ones, like all the way. Can you get it like to the camera? Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Okay, there you go. Yeah, right there. Okay, so Brian, somehow we came from Reformed Egyptian, Coptic Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew to this society with this, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Is this a whole nother breakaway civilization, different time? Are these Nephite Lamanites? Like, to me, and the timing of these guys is only, I mean, it's like 400, 500 BC to like, it's the same time as the Book of Mormon people. So how do we have this language?
So I don't know the answer, but just here's some of my thoughts.
Right.
Right now, this whole, did the Book of Mormon happen in south of Panama or did it happen in North America, is now really turning into an interesting discussion here because of different things that have been coming out lately. So if you just kind of like go to where Wayne May was teaching from, and you go to the video that you showed earlier on here, you will notice that those pyramids that you were visiting, or MacGyver was visiting, and Shane was visiting, there was also an image shown of Indonesia, or
yeah.
Other people will point out Burma, that they're the exact same structures. And so there are some people that believe that, there was probably contact from that area, and some of these people in the Mayan lands may have actually migrated from there and brought those structure designs with them. And perhaps, the Mayan glyphs are very unique. I don't think they're found anywhere else in the world, so they created them.
Yeah, they did create them.
No. And so, I don't think that those are Reformed Egyptian.
I don't either.
don't think they're related to Hebrew at all.
I don't
It's
either.
their own creation. So
yeah, and it's glorious. Like I can't link this documentary that I saw, but I'm gonna maybe we'll do an episode on it. It is so incredible how this kid, I think he was like Asperger's or something, how he figured it out, and he just had this like calling to do it ever since he was this kid, and he was there for a decade before he figured it out. But
I will tell you that for my sake, I was driven to do my best to learn Egyptian. And it was months after that I encountered these Michigan artifacts, and I was driven to try to crack the code. And when it got to the characters document, I was driven to crack the code. And then the same thing with the Burrows stones. I remember when I got to the first Burrows stone that I translated was a very it's a Hebrew document, and it was simply about an open house for the merchant marines, something totally non-gospel related. But the spirit it just like dumped into me.
Dude, you know what that reminds me of when you say that? And I've heard you say that before, not in as much detail. You know how people start doing genealogy and they just get like lit and they can't sleep and they're just thinking about it nonstop. It's like the spirit of those people on the other side, or their energy, or whatever, right? Their collective consciousness. It's like we're like feeding us.
Yeah,
that's trippy.
Yeah,
that's super trippy, and I know a lot of people have had that experience. I personally have not, but I've heard a lot of cool stories about it. I've never really done genealogy or any of that stuff, but I hear it just, and like they'll start getting messages, like dreams, or sometimes people are coming to them. Like some pretty wild stuff starts happening when you start connecting your ancestors or investigating these ancestors. Like when we were there at Monte Alban, I'm telling you, we showed a little bit of that little messenger bee. It was 40 minutes observing us, and I had just like this distinct feeling that like someone in the universe was like looking through its eyes. It was so weird. I'm like, you guys, this is like an observer, and it would come.
Yeah.
We have like 40 minutes of video of this. It would come. It was totally peaceful, and it'd come right up to your face, like this close to your face, and it would just sit there, staring at you, just
And
staring at you.
I believe you too. I've had an experience similar to that. I went to the place that I think is Ammonihah, and why I believe it's Ammonihah, you got Zarahemla by Nauvoo, and then you go 60 miles north, there's Toolsboro Mounds. And I drove there. I had read in a book that Wayne May believed that Toolsboro Mounds was Ammonihah. I'm like, okay, great. I want to check this out.
Where's this at?
It's 60 miles north of Nauvoo.
Okay.
Okay, along the Mississippi River and the it's another river, Iowa River. The Iowa River. Yeah. And so I show up there in my semi truck, and I drive into the parking lot, and it's midnight.
Okay.
And I just feel like I'm surrounded by people.
Whoa.
And I'm like, whoa, this is wild.
If you had a Tesla, what if you had a Tesla and it was like clink, 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 you know how you can shows the dead people?
Well, I'll go a step further because I have the divining rods. This is, if you know Wayne May, you know that he likes to use the divining rods. I've got some divining rods. Okay.
Nice.
And, I pulled them out, and they were very, very active.
No way.
Yeah.
Today, this is so funny. I bet you in my entire life of my mom and my kids, I have a 20-year-old, my mom's never once mentioned the word divining rod in her entire life. And today we're at the pool at Cabo, and I don't know what the heck we were talking about, but my mom says, have you ever heard of a water witch? She says it to my 11-year-old, and my daughter's like, what? She's like, a water witch. And I'm like, where is this going? And she goes, when I was a kid, my dad needed to get a well on our farm, and we hired a water witch. He was a guy, and he came down with this divining rod, and he was walking around the farm, and all of a sudden it was like click, 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 and there was a well, and we found it on the first drill. And she's like, I don't know how, but it works, And my understanding of how it works is that if you can become grounded when whatever it is that you're targeting, water in that instance, like you literally, as you walk over it, get like electromagnetic pulse, and it just kind of like twitches your. But how does that work? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know that even in my own front yard, I could take the divining rods and I could walk along the yard, and when I know where the electrical wires are, I'll walk over the electrical wires and whoop,
What if the electrical companies in the future stop using ground penetrating radar, and they're all just using divining rods?
Well, they might get confused because they might think they're getting to the electrical stuff, but they're actually getting to a water line, because if I go to the water line, whoop.
Yeah, we'll have to train the water company, the natural gas company, and the electrical company on, just cross train.
Yeah.
Okay. I got something to show. I'm curious if you've seen this, Brian, and since it looks like you're going strong, this is a really cool 8-minute video that we made. This is a friend of mine who, when he was starting like 9, 10 years old, he started having this reoccurring dream. And the first time that he had it, like freaked him out, because it was like a real, some of those dreams you have, and you're like, it feels more real than real life. One of these. And then over like the last 30 years, he's continued to have this as a reoccurring dream, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes hours long. Okay. And then as he's become like an adult and back from a mission, and been more in tune with the spirit, he's having these memories and waking conversations and work and watching TV. Like all of a sudden, like the memory will like open back up in his mind, and he'll like see bits and pieces of it. And it's really cool. It's about the war in heaven, the Grand Council, and he basically he's like, I was there. I like saw it all. I remember it all, like hours and hours and hours and hours of it. And he's written like 84 pages in this Google Doc of it. And he sent it to me, and I made like an 8-minute video. I mean, I didn't even do it justice. I could do 3 hours on this thing, and it'd be incredible. And I probably will do more bits and pieces of it. But this one is called I Remember. And I took his story and his description, and I wrote all of this. So this is just to be clear, this is my parlance. This is the way that I framed everything, the way I described everything. I took his story, and with ChatGPT, I made this.
Okay.
All right. I hope you guys like it.
The war before time was measured, before the stars were hung in the void, before the first breath of mortal air, there was the Grand Council. God, the eternal, the source of all things, called together all his creations. From the infinite reaches of pre-existence, souls assembled, radiant in their intelligence, vast in their number, bound by a singular purpose, the forging of a new reality. He stood before us, not merely as creator, but as father, and he revealed the great design, a universe, and walk a path of trial. The risk was severe. Many would not return, some would fall forever. But for those who endured, the reward was beyond measure, to ascend, to evolve, to become as he is. The plan was set. It was not forced upon us. Each was given the agency to choose, to accept or reject the decree of the Almighty. Others burned with the fire of purpose, eager to descend into mortality, and almost all agreed. Then the great command was given. The universe was to be created, and for this task God entrusted his greatest and most noble ones. Among them stood the first of this creation, the one we would come to know as Jesus Christ. To him God conferred the authority to bring forth the cosmos. Under his word he gathered others, and together they wove the and lo, the first breath of existence unfurled. The great expansion began. What was once a singularity now stretched forth as an endless sea of galaxies, stars, and worlds. The visible and the invisible were crafted by their hands, bound together by the laws of the divine. But as the first creation was set in motion, Lucius arose, equal in wisdom, voice like fire, and he proclaimed his own design. Why should we risk our beloved? Why should any be lost? His reasoning was flawless, his vision elegant. His was a path of certainty. None would fall, none would suffer, none would be required to prove their worth, for worth was given, not earned, and many believed. Many turned from the decree of God and followed Lucis. For his words resonated with their fears, that not in fire and blood, but in persuasion, in rhetoric, in quiet conversations that spread like the whisper of a coming storm. A war.
I just heard the connection is bad, and the video's like lagging. Is it lagging?
Yeah.
All right, then let's not show it. Darn, that makes it painful.
It's cool though.
It's cool, and where it gets really cool is this guy followed Satan, and he left, and he like took tons of people with him, and like the ones that left Satan weren't like the fence sitters, the weaklings. They were like noble ones and like powerful ones, and they legitimately thought that Satan's plan would save more people. Like they thought the other plan was foolish because the risk of coming down here. I mean, there's so many people that aren't going to make it and aren't going to receive the, you know, elevated status that we thought, you know, being as father and mother, you know, like we're not. It was just like this power move, and like they almost like had control, and then at the last second, right before man was placed on earth, because this war happened for like billions of years, and the whole entire time of like the, you know, creation of the galaxy, and I don't know how long this. Anyways,
Well,
God came at the last second and gave them everyone a chance to come back, and he said, "You'll be on equal ground," you know. And this guy came back, and then apparently he like brought back like missionary Alma the Younger style, like millions with him, and
this is his dream. This is his dream.
it's his dream. It's his waking like memory. Like, yeah, like for him, he's like, sure, this happened.
Gotcha.
Like, sure. And as a kid, he didn't understand it, you know, and the older he's gotten and like prayed about it and had personal revelation and stuff. But you know, like he totally remembers this. And
Yeah.
it's a cool, really, really cool story. And since we posted it, I've had 4 people tell me they've had the exact same thing. Like, I did that same thing. I have the same memory. I followed Satan. I came back. And it's crazy. Like, so many similarities. Other people are saying, I have a memory of the pre-existence and I didn't. I followed Jesus and we did this, and this. I've had like 3 people of those, and we're actually gonna have one guy come on and talk about it anonymously. He doesn't want to come on publicly, but yeah, just some cool memories of the pre-existence. And if anyone's out there watching and you have anything like that, like whether it's a hunch or a dream or a vision or whatever that you've seen, like I'd love to hear about it. It's just cool. And none of these things really matter in like the scheme of things, but it's cool to hear these stories and perspectives, you know?
I think it's fascinating that we all have our own path that we're to walk. I really do believe that we have our own personal missions, and
Yeah.
a lot of these personal missions are missions that were established prior to us coming to this earth.
I believe that. I think we all made deals. You know, it's like I'm supposed to do this, I'm gonna do this, and like it's our job to figure out what that is. I don't know what mine is, you know, and I want to make sure that I find it, that I do it, and maybe do more. It'd be cool if you did more than you committed to do. You know, like if you came back and you like over delivered. I'm an over deliverer in my
Yeah.
relationships, in my business. Like I love over delivering.
I also know that in my own life, you know, there was something that I was supposed to do when I was younger, and it's even talked about in my patriarchal blessing, and I did not do it, and it's a great regret to me.
Is there
And
any way you can like
you
lasso that back?
can't go back in time. You could just go forward, and I think that I've been doing about as well as I could to make up for it and do the rest of my mission, even though I missed one piece.
Yeah, I mean, you can do something bigger in the next piece, you know, that would way more than make up for that. Dude, Mitika getting a Book of Mormon published in Mayan, like I'm jealous. I want to do something cool like that. That's freaking cool.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, to be able to put the Book of Mormon in the hands of thousands and thousands of people in a way
that have never been able to read it ever.
Yeah.
It makes me want to like one up him and like find some other country or language that has more people and tell him, oh, we're doing 30,000 a month. Yeah.
Well, if you can one up that, then I mean that's a miracle.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
We just got to find me a language where there's 100,000 people. Find me a language, Brian, where there's like 1 million, 2 million people, and we'll go translate our own and we'll do 10,001 copies a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that we also can't take lightly what you had pointed out earlier about it's amazing that he's been able to get them to be willing to let you put it out live streamed. to the world.
Yeah, I don't quite get it because they don't really like us. Like
No,
I get what's that?
I went to a particular indigenous event here in Tucson, and I asked if I could record something. They're all no.
Oh no, they hate recording. Like we tried to do the white buffalo thing and
Yeah.
they let us film beforehand, but nothing during the ceremony. It's very, very sacred to them,
Yeah.
the ceremony. Like remember when we were at your conference in Wisconsin and they made us turn off the recording for certain parts of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we had to like kill the live stream for quite a bit of time and stuff. Like they don't let that go. So I was shocked. Like that's Mitiga 100% saying this is really important to get this out. I know that this seems foreign and evil and whatever, but this is going to get this message out more. And then the fact that they let us do it, Zion Media, like I'm just like, honor's not even the word. I'm just like, are you guys sure? Like,
well, since
are
I'm
you
going to be
positive?
here, I'm on your schedule, and I will be part of this camera crew, and whatever it is you need help on, I'm going to be helping with. So
yeah, I just need someone to tell me what to do because I'm not good in those type of situations because I'm like the funny guy and they don't like that. And I just like anytime I like talk in front of any natives, they're just like white boy, not
and we're
good.
going to be in the middle of nowhere, and my guess is that the only internet's going to come from Elon Musk.
We're going to bring Starlink with us.
Okay, that's Elon Musk. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, Shane and I's company now has our application in to become a Starlink authorized dealer.
Really?
Yeah. We're already a Tesla Powerwall 3 authorized dealer, and so we're just like, dude, it'd be cool to get start time. So we're going to get the maritime first, the home ones, but then the real ones we want are for business to sell to businesses. But yeah, there's not a lot of money in it, but it's just cool to have,
Yeah. I mean, most businesses are in locations where they have the internet.
Yeah, it's for like remote because most businesses, have like expensive cabins and offsite retreats, and they got boats and different stuff, and so you're gonna sell them like 4 maritime things and like 3 high-speed internets at one of their like offsite locations. But really, what we want it for is their cameras. We want to do their cameras and the AI in their cameras because we got some cool stuff. Like how old are your kids, Brian?
Oh, they're all grown.
Grown. Okay, so but did you have daughters?
Yeah.
Okay, so our cameras have this feature with AI that you can upload a picture of your daughter's boyfriend, okay? Or you can screenshot it from one of the things. And you can say, anytime this guy's ever in my house, outside my house, I want it put in this folder and I want a push notification the second, and every single camera that he moves into, if he ever goes into my daughter's bedroom or down that hallway, like I want like my phone to call. It can't call, but I want like notifications. But I'm telling you, anything you can say, I want a folder for my dog, and I want every single place that my dog goes the entire day, I want it put in a folder.
Well, I certainly hope you're not putting a camera in your daughter's bedroom.
No, there's no in bedrooms. No, but just like the hallway to go down or whatever. Like, and I was just making up an example, but you can do like it'll get to know your UPS and FedEx and whatever drivers, and it'll have different folders for each one. It'll like literally anything that you can do with AI and ChatGPT, think of, you can build like a program for that. You can do it so that it shows when your wife starts making dinner. I mean, it's just like it's endless stuff. And on the business side, it's very, very valuable because you can track your employees and people that should or shouldn't be there when they get in, schedules, whole bunch of stuff.
Cool.
Sounds like Echelon in Greenland. What's that? Someone's talking about something else. Okay, well it's almost 2:00. I like ending on the button, and so we got 3 minutes here. Let's see if any of our viewers have any questions or comments right now, and we will read these. At Zion Media, we have to talk before you sign with Starlink. Jen, I haven't signed yet, but I submitted my application, so you better reach out to me. I'm tired. Summer, quit complaining. Brian, last week, Summer and I did this on the late live stream that we did. We offline planned that we were going to come on. She's the descendant from Lucy Mack Smith. Okay, so she's like Joseph Smith's,
okay,
right? So we were chatting, and I said, "Hey, call me." So we talked, and I said, "Let's do a trick on everyone. Let's go on the air live, and we're gonna flirt back and forth, and I'm gonna try to convince you to let me sire through your line my son. I don't have a son. I have 3 boys, right? And my dad is Michael Keyes, and he's the very last in his line. And he told me ever since I was a boy, hundreds of times, just have sons. He had 4 daughters, me. I had 3 daughters. So now that I'm divorced and I'm looking back out there, I've been thinking like maybe I need a boy, you know,
Yeah.
carry the family. And with in vitro, you can completely make it 100%. You know you're going to get a boy.
That's true.
And so anyways, we go live for like an hour, and she's, you know, and I told her, I said, play back and forth like you're interested, but you're not. And we were just totally like flirting on air. And I'm just being like, listen, even if we're not together, let's get a surrogate. All right. And you know, it's like we're talking like $60,000 between in vitro and surrogacy. And she goes, who's gonna have the kid? I said, well, of course the kid would come with me. And she goes, no, I would want the kid as well with your family line and my family line. I'm like, well, then we do too. It's $120,000. We both get a kid. And you know, we don't have to go King Noah style on him, or not King Noah, King Solomon style on him. So we do this whole entire thing. And the very end of it, we're like, just kidding. We planned this. It was fun.
I have a story to tell, but it would take us over the 2-hour.
Hey, I don't mind if we go over. I just don't want to go. I don't want to go under.
Well, I just want to, you know, you're talking about, you know, the mother of Joseph Smith, and I recently found, I posted this on Facebook, is, you know, I took a little snapshot of my with the fan chart of Howard Corey and Martha Jane Knowlton Corey. And Martha Jane Knowlton Corey, she was the one who spent like a significant amount of time with Lucy Mack Smith writing the story of Joseph Smith in the history of the church. So
interesting.
And she's my great grandmother.
Great grandmother.
And she was married. She was baptized by cutting a hole in the Mississippi River in the ice in January.
Stop it.
And it was baptized there.
Bro, I could wait. I'd be like, I'm good. That is insane. I've only done those like cold baths. Have you done a cold plunge?
No, and I don't plan on ever doing it.
Yeah, like I don't ever want to run a marathon. I don't ever want to. I mean, that might be it. I don't ever want to, and I don't want to do a cold plunge. I don't want to be to the point in my life.
Cold water comes out of the shower when you first turn the water on.
Yeah, I don't even do that. I let it run for a minute. I'm at the point in my life where like I don't want to have to be like motivating myself to like get in a cold plunge every day to be validated. I don't know, like, and I get it why people do it, and good for you guys, but like maybe I'm just a wuss. Maybe that's what it is. I just don't do hard things.
I'll call you Trevor Keyes. Okay.
Yeah, I don't do hard things, Brian. I have this. I set this goal for myself when I was 33 years old that I would be able to arrange my schedule and my business and my personal life where I could wake up naturally, whatever that is. If that was 10 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever. And it took me almost 2 years to do it. And I've been, since I was 35 years old, for 13 years, I never, ever set an alarm clock. It is like sacred to me, unless I have a flight.
Well, I'm going hiking with my daughter in the morning, so I'm going to have to set it because I'm going to have to get like 5 hours of sleep tonight.
Yeah, if it's before like 7:30, I have to. But typically, I'll wake up between 7 and 8:30. But that was like so freeing to me. It was like the biggest pat on my back. I'm just like, no meetings, nothing. I don't take any meetings before 10 o'clock. I try to do 11 o'clock and just do me in the morning. But I work late. I always am working. So I feel like I needed to.
I'm her cousin.
Really? Who is? Yeah, cousin? Hey, so that means if we have a kid together, you're going to be like my great uncle or something? Like we'll be related?
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but you'll be Uncle Brian, basically.
Yeah, was it Godfather or something like that? Or
we can just say uncle. Uncle.
Uncle sounds good to me.
My cousin plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. His name's Britton Covey. He played for the Utes. And technically, he's my second cousin's son. So I don't even know what that is, but we just say cousin. Sounds cooler, you know?
Yeah.
And my daughter can go to school and tell her friends, my cousin plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, and she gets a lot of clout for that.
Yeah.
When I was in 11th grade, 10th and 11th grade at Bonneville High School in Ogden, Utah. Where did you go? Where did you grow up, Brad?
Southern California.
SoCal. Okay, so BYU football. Did you watch that growing up at all as a Mormon?
I went to BYU for 4 years, and I got there the year after they won the national championship.
After Robbie Bosco, so 80, 82?
Yeah,
you
I
got
was
there?
there during Bosco's time. Yeah.
So you were there at 82?
Yeah. Well,
okay. Or did they win in 84? Did they win in 84?
It was more like 85. I think they
Yeah,
won.
they won in 84. They won in 84. Yeah.
And then I got there in 85. And
85. Okay, so in 90, maybe it was like 91, 92, Sean Covey was the starting quarterback for BYU. You remember him?
Yeah.
That was my cousin. And I was like, I mean, he's my second cousin, you know, but in high school, everywhere talking to girls, I'm like, yeah, Sean Covey's my cousin. Yeah, no, we're going to go down to the game. Of course, you know, might see him beforehand. Never would see him beforehand, you know.
Yeah.
But his dad was Stephen Covey.
Yeah.
And that was,
planner.
Yeah, 7 Habits, Highly Effective People. So my grandpa was like an absentee dad to my mom, and her what would it be? Uncle was Stephen Covey, my mom. And he was like a fill-in grandpa. I mean, he was like maybe like a fill-in grandpa mentor, but you know, wouldn't spend tons of time with us. But when he did, he was so amazing. Like you would leave and you'd be like, I am amazing. I can do cool things. And he would know everything. He knew everything about me. I got married and we went to like a Thanksgiving dinner, and he knew everything about my wife. And she was like, what happened? Do they do cue cards? Their whole family like knows everything about you. And they're like sincere, and it was just really, really cool. And my mom was so maybe vulnerable, not having a good parent, that she clinged on to 7 Habits. And like I grew up on 7 Habits and the Book of Mormon. Like that was it. That was my life.
Okay.
So Brian, get to bed so you can do your hikey thing. I'm gonna play for anybody who wants to stay on in the chat and stay a little longer. I'm gonna turn off my camera, but I'm gonna stream some Zion Media music.
Yeah.
And we can stay in the chat if you guys want to.
I want to look at some of the chats before you cut it off.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it going. Afterwards, I like going for a while because I go back and record it for myself. So anyways, thanks everybody for joining. I'm gonna get this song right here is my current favorite on Zion Media music. This is my favorite for like feel good, and it's like it's a twist on Be Still My Soul. It's beautiful. It like this is like Sunday music, or you just need like a good pick me up. This thing is incredible. So let me get this going. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll keep the live stream rolling.
Be still, my soul. The Lord is near. In every doubt, through every fear, hold fast to Him. His love won't fade through darkest nights. His light will smash. The storms may rise, but peace is found in His sunrise. Be still, my soul, He's always there. His voice will calm the midnight air. Feel His strength, it lifts you high. Through every tear, He's by your side. The world may change, but He stays true. Be still, my soul, He's holding you so. His love will make you whole. Through it all, let it flow. Be still, my soul, and let Him take control. Be still, my soul. The path is clear, though trials come. You take, His grace will guide in every shadow. He's your light. No need to fear, no need to run. His work is sure, His will is done. Be still, my soul, He's always there. His voice will come. The midnight air, every tear, He's by your side. The world may change, but He stays true. Be still, my soul, He's holding you. Let your heart trust, let your faith rise. He's the anchor when oceans collide. Lift your eyes to the endless skies. His love will never fade, never die. Be still, my soul, and sing His name through joy and pain. He's just the same. Feel His strength beside. The world may change, but He stays true. Be still, my soul, He's holding you. Be still, my soul. His love will make you whole.
Silver threads woven in your skin. You were light before you entered in. A whisper in the dark, a name on the wind. You were born to rise, not to bend. Stars, let them know who you are. Your hands hold the tides, your heart sparks the fire. Open your eyes, you're the voice of the sky. You are seen, you are heard, you are higher. Rise, rise, daughter of the dawn. The world will shift when you move on. Shine, shine, keeper of the way. You were made for more than yesterday. Ooh, let the vision call you home. Ooh, you were never meant to fall alone. You hold time in the palm of your hands. The echoes of futures they don't understand. You are peace, you are war, you are calm in the storm. You were never meant to be. Let them know who you are. Your hands hold the tides, your heart sparks the fire. Open your eyes, you're the voice of the sky. You are seen, you are heard, you are higher. Rise, rise, daughter of the dawn. The world will shift when you move on. Shine, shine, keeper of the way. Oh, let the vision call you home. Oh, you were never meant to fall alone. Silver glow in your veins, silver fire in your name. Every tear you ever cried, turning red. Oh, can you see it? You're the force, you're the light, you are freedom. Step into your power, step into your name. Daughter of the dawn, you will never be the same.
Wake up, sun's out, new day, my time. I don't wait, I don't break, I go claim what's mine. Every step, every knock, got a purpose now. I was built for the fight, I don't turn around. They see the wins, they don't see the grind. They see the checks, not the sacrifice. Every no put a fire in my chest. I took the pain, turned it into success. I've been down, I've been low, felt the weight, felt the cold, but I rise, yeah, I grow. Every loss just made me bold. This don't end. Took my shot, took my chance. Now I won this, now I stand. Doors slam, rain falls, miles from home, but I smile, I grind, I stay in the zone, cause I know what's coming, yeah, I feel that way. Every hit that I take, they see the checks, not the sacrifice. Every no put a fire in my chest. I took the pain, turned it into success. I've been down, I've been low, felt the weight, felt the cold, but I rise, yeah, I grow. Every loss just made me bold. I don't break, I don't bend, I don't stop. This don't end. Took my shot, took my chance. Now I won this, now I stand. I don't wait for fate to hand me a win. I wake up hungry, go get it again. No silver spoons, no easy way. I built this life through the struggle and pain. I've been down, I've been low, felt the weight, felt the cold, but I rise, yeah, I grow. Every loss just made me bold. I don't break, I don't bend, I don't stop. This don't end. Took my shot, took my chance. Now I run this, now I stand.
I have seen this place before, in my dreams, in whispered lore, a voice inside, a spark, a sign. I was never meant to hide. I am more than flesh and bone. I am light. I am known. Is near. I remember why I'm here. I was fire before the flood. made to lead them through. I am more than flesh and bone. I am light. Hell is lifting. Time is near. I remember why I'm here. I was fire before the flood. I was moonlight in the dust. I was whole before I fell. I remember I rebelled. I am returned. I am always meant to be. I remember I am free. Not a shadow, not a trace, not a whisper lost in space. I am thunder, I am rain. I am nothing left the same. I was fire before the flood. I was moonlight in the dust. I was whole before I fell. I remember where I stand. Rode before, felt the dust, the weight, the war. Still I rise, still I see something ancient speaks through me. There's a fire in my name, a storm within my veins. I to breathe. I rise, I see the hour is here. No more silence, no more fear. I am the spark, the light, the key. I am the hands that shape the sea. He builds walls. I break heart, I clear the way. Not above and not beneath. Two flames burning endlessly. There's a fire in my name, a storm within my veins. I don't need permission. I was never made to break. The hour is here. No more silence, no more fear. I am the spark, the light, the key. I am the hands that shape the sea. I dream in colors yet unseen. I hear the echoes in between. The tides will bow. She who knows must rise up now. I rise, I see the hour is here. No more silence, no more fear. I am the spark.
I don't have the answers, I don't have the plan. Still I'm walking through the fire with the torch in my hand. Doubt in my ear saying, boy, sit down. I see the fight, I see the ones who were born for the light. It ain't about strength, it ain't about sight. It's about faith when you step into the night. I know you feel it, that pull inside, that voice that won't let you run and hide. You were sent for this, you were born to rise. So take that step, watch fear subside. Step into the fire, burn through the chains. You were made for more, let them feel the flames. Rise like a warrior, stand like the sun. You were chosen for this, now the work's begun. Here, the time is now. It's crystal clear. Move, move, no turning back. Rise, rise, stay on track. Burn, burn, feel the spark. Step into the fire, light up the dark. That weight you feel, it ain't just a dream. That's the mission you chose before you could breathe. Higher self speaking, time to respond. No more waiting, the moment is on. You don't wait, you don't break. You don't let the fear dictate, you awake. I know you feel it, that pull inside, that voice that won't let you run and hide. You were sent for this, you were born to rise. So take that step, watch fear subside. Step into the fire, burn through the chains. You were made for more, let them feel the flames. Rise like a warrior, stand like the sun. You were chosen for this, now the work's begun. Oh, 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 oh. No more doubt, no more fear. Oh, 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 oh. The time is now. It's clear will scream, but it won't win. You're not alone, the angels guide. Your purpose burns, let it amplify. Step into the fire, burn through the chains. You were made for more, let them feel the flames. Rise like a warrior, stand like the sun. You were chosen for this, now the work's begun. Oh, 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 oh. No more doubt, no more fear. Oh, oh, oh. The time is now, it's crystal clear. Move. Move, no turning back, burn. Feel the fire, light up the dark. I don't wait, I don't hope, I don't flinch, I don't choke. Every shot, I let it go. Pressure hits, I take control. I see limits, I break past. I see walls, I make cracks. They don't get it, they don't see. I don't stop till it's complete. Turn the grind to a weapon. No failure, only step in. Go harder every second. I don't lose, I don't break, I don't stop, I don't wait. Every hit just fuels my rage. I go harder every day. I don't fall, I don't bend. I go till there's nothing left. I was built to walk through fire. I was made to reach what's higher. Talk is cheap, I don't need it. I just move, I just lead it. They stay hoping, they stay wishing. I stay working, I stay winning. Everything I want, I take. Every move I make is fate. Ain't no doubts inside my brain. Ain't no quitting in my veins. Turn the grind into a weapon. Turn the pain into a lesson. ain't no failure, only step ahead. I don't break, I don't stop, I don't wait. Every hit just fuels my rage. I go harder every day. I don't fall, I don't bend. I go till there's nothing left. I was built to walk through fire. I was made to reach what's higher. I don't quit, I don't second guess this. I know what I came to get, and I ain't leaving till I win. I don't lose, I don't break, I don't stop, I don't wait. Every hit just fuels my rage. I go harder every day. I don't fall, I don't bend, I go till there's nothing left. I was built to walk through fire. I was made to reach what's higher. Fire. Another day, another test. Step outside, put my will to the stretch. Ain't nobody said this road was paved, but that's why I'm here, I don't do safe. I take the hit, I take the fall. I rise again, although I bet on me, I don't make excuses. I see the mountain, I climb it higher. Pain is fuel, I feed the fire. I don't wait, I don't hold, I just get up and I go. I've been pushed, I've been tested. Every fall, every lesson. I don't break, I don't quit. I was built for all of this. Every high, every low, every scar just help me grow. I don't stop, I don't. Door slam, I smile back. They don't see the wins I stack. Every no just sets me free. Every loss is what I need. Cause I don't fear the uphill climb. That's where legends learn to rise. Every struggle, every strain, just another step I gain. I see the mountain, climb it higher. Pain is hope, I just get up and I go. I've been pushed, I've been tested. Every fall, every lesson. I don't break, I don't quit. I was built for all of this. Every high, every low, every scar just helped me grow. I don't stop, I don't miss. I was built for all of this. I don't fear the work, I don't fear the pain. I don't fear rejection, I embrace the game. I don't need a handout, I don't need a sign. I just need a chance, I just need the grind. I've been pushed, I've been tested. Every fall, every lesson. I don't break, I don't quit. I was built for all of this. Every high, every low, every. I control every knock, every step, every moment. The rise, the fall, I I just know if I keep pushing, ain't a thing I can't evolve. I take the hits, I take the pain, turn it all to fuel again. Ain't about how hard I swing, it's about how much I bring. I keep moving, I don't stop. Every door I take my shot, every step another game. Every push another flame. I don't break, I don't bend, I don't fold, I don't end. Every hit just makes me strong. I keep moving, I keep on. Fast or slow, rain or shine, I stay locked in state of mind. Every choice, every pace, every second I embrace. I don't chase, I create. I don't wait for time or fate. I just grind, I just go. Nothing stopping what I know. I take the hits, I take the pain, turn it all to fuel again. Ain't about how hard I swing, it's about how much I bring. I keep moving, I don't stop. Every door I take my shot, every step another game, every push another flame. I don't break, I don't bend, I don't fall, makes me strong. Keep moving, I keep on. This is where the strong survive. This is where the legends rise. Ain't no limits, ain't no chains. I just step up in the game. Every moment, every test gives me more, I'm at my best. Ain't no backwards, only more. Push beyond what was before. Every door I touch, every step another game, every push another flame. I don't break, I don't bend, I don't fall, I don't end. Every hit just makes me strong. I keep moving, I keep on. This is where the strong survive. This is where the legends rise. Ain't no limits, ain't no chains. I just step up in the game. Every moment, every test gives me more, I'm at my best. Ain't no backwards, only more. Push beyond what was before. I keep moving, I don't stop. Every door I take my shot, I take my shot. Every step another game, every push another flame.
Yeah, the veil is thinning, the time is now. No more waiting, no more doubt. The watchers return, the builders stand. Zion's rising, take your hand. Hey yo, wake up, time to see the signs. No delay, no rewind. We ain't here just to watch and wait. We build, we move, we elevate. Prophet spoken, now it's real. Zion's rising, that's the deal. Ain't no fear, ain't no shame. The kingdom calls, step in the name. No hesitation, no more delay. The work is now, we light the way. The angels move, the leaders know. Zion rises, let it show. We build, we rise. Zion calls, we answer, no disguise. The veil is torn, the kingdom moves. The time is now, no time to lose. They pray for signs, they ask for proof, but the truth been knocking, it's bulletproof. Prophecy burns, it's written in stone. Zion ain't waiting, we set the tone. Keys Ace in hand, but who gon' turn? Hearts on fire, the spirit burns. No retreat, no holding back. We step in power, we stay on track. No hesitation, no more delay. The work is now, we light the way. The angels move, the leaders know. Zion rises and let it show. We build, we rise. Zion calls, we answer. No disguise, the veil is torn. This ain't for the weak, this ain't for the slow. This is for the ones who already know. No more waiting, the calling's clear. Zion's rising, bring it here. We ain't bound by the rules they made. The kingdom moves, the path is laid. Step in power, hold that line. The time is come. Zion's time! No compromise. We build, we rise. The time is now. Open your eyes. We build, we rise. Zion calls, we answer, no disguise. The veil is torn, the kingdom moves. The time is now, no time to lose. No retreat, no turning back. We step in faith, we stay on track. Zion's here, the watchers see. The time is now. We rise, we free.
Last night I stood beneath the heavens, wondering if you hear my call. The weight of time, it bends but never breaks us. Your truth restores it all. Last night I felt the promise growing, a love that heals, a light that stays. You write the sequel in hearts still hoping, bringing back the brighter days. Since the world fell apart, you've written hope into my heart. Through all the shadows, tears and scars, you've shown me who you are. This is my message in the bottle, sent across the sky. It holds the story of the love that brings the broken back to life. This is my message in the bottle. It travels space and time, proclaiming all things will be restored, forever yours and mine. Oh, 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 a light to guide the way. Oh, restoring what was taken away. Your love will never fade. This is my message in the bottle. Last night I walked the path forgotten, searching for the truth you've shown. The world feels heavy, but hope's not forsaken. With you, I'm never alone. Each step retraced becomes redemption. Each wound a part of something whole. Your love transforms the lost intentions. It's the anchor of my soul. Since the world fell apart, you've written hope into my heart. Through all the shadows, tears and scars, you've shown me who you are. This is my message in the bottle, sent across the sky. It holds the story of the love that brings the broken back to life. This is my message in the bottle. It travels space and time, proclaiming all things will be restored, forever yours and mine. The world will know, the truth will shine. Every piece restored in time. The heavens sing, the earth will bow. Your kingdom's here.
is my message in the bottle, sent across the sky. It holds the story of the love that brings the broken back to life. This is my message in the bottle. It travels space and time, proclaiming all things will be restored, forever yours and mine. Oh, 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 a light to guide the way. Restoring what was taken away. Your love will never fade. This is my message in the bottle. Here we go again, redemption. Clap now for the restoration. Feel the fire, the preparation. Heaven's call, no hesitation. Like a river, let it flow. Burning bright, let the whole world know. Kingdom come, his light will glow. Through the storm, through the dark, through the fire, through the snow. Hey now, wish on an endless sky. Lift your voice, let the spirit rise. Sing like the angels, bold and free. Love will reign through eternity. Oh, so beautiful, rise up, let your spirit go. Like ocean waves, we're powerful. The heavens shine unbreakable. This love still holds true. Now what you gonna do? I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. Between the moon and sun, his work is never done. I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. Set it up, his kingdom's here. Raise the light through the cold, it's crystal clear. Through the fire, through the flood, his love is near. I won't give up on you, his time is here. On the mount, the trumpets calling. Hear the sound of nations falling. Earth transformed, his glory reigns. Every knee shall bow, every heart proclaims. In the fields the harvest grows. Lift the weary, heal the soul. Shangri-La to Zion's song. We've waited for his reign so long, so glorious. Feel the heavens over us. The veil is gone, his love is shown. Through his grace we're going home. This love still holds true. Now what you gonna do? I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. Between the moon and sun, his work is never done. I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. Prepare the way, the King will come. Christ outshone the heavens sing. Put your heart to the Savior King. This love still holds true. Now what you gonna do? I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. Between the moon and sun, his reign has just begun. I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. Set it up, his kingdom's here. Raise the light, feel the call, it's crystal clear. Through the fire, through the flood, his love is near. I won't give up on you, his time is here.